What's going on? What's happening? The question is, if you lived, partied, hung out, clubbed, or just overall visited Atlanta, would you feel safe, being there? And my answer is no. Straight up. I lived in Atlanta for about 2.5 to 3 years, and I didn't feel safe at all. Matter of fact, to be real with you, I take it even a step further. Now that I have several firearms, and my CCW, my concealed to carry weapons license, you know what I'm saying? I still wouldn't even feel safe with all of that down there. Because see, one thing about being a responsible gun owner is prevention. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't go into areas that that's dangerous. It's not about you getting into a gunfight and being the man or a hero or something like that. Nah. It's all about prevention. Whenever you see danger or you see something happening, you go the opposite way. It's just that plain and simple. You know what I'm saying? And man, I'm always up on Atlanta news. I see what's going on. I think last week they had Mechanicsville Day. This is something that they annually have in Atlanta. And I know what most people will say, it happened after Mechanicsville Day, like later on at night, but 5 people got shot. And then just a couple months ago, I covered this. A woman, a young female, that was going to college. I forgot what college it was. She was an out-of-towner, visiting Atlanta. Went to a club in Buckhead. Now, Buckhead's supposed to be a well-to-do place. You know what I'm saying? It's supposed to be safe. Well, come to find out, she's in the club. Somebody winds up shooting up the club inside the club. She dies, and 3 other people got shot. Like, it's gotten so bad for us dealing with the nightlife in Atlanta. They have actually created a special unit to patrol Atlanta, as far as dealing with the clubs and, and just the hangouts, in order to make, those places a safe environment. It's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous. I just saw on the news, they have them at the K5 robots, that is. They have them in they first started having them in New York, you know what I'm saying, in certain train stations, right? Now they have it in, I think it's in 4th Ward, Atlanta. They have the K5 robot down there patrolling that area. It's just gotten out of hand, man. And sooner than later, they're going to have the same thing that they have in New York, you know what I'm saying, the DigiDogs. All of this information that I'm, telling you all, this is facts. You can look it up. Look up K5 Robot and DigiDogs. I've been talking about this ever since like the early 2000s. That eventually we were going to have RoboCops. And this is just the very beginning. But yeah, man, getting back to Atlanta, it's not safe, man. It's not safe. It's a very hostile environment. I just got finished cutting grass, so all of these bugs is everywhere. But yeah, it's a very hostile environment, man. I wouldn't advise anyone to party there, let alone visit. You know what I'm saying? Because they could peep you out, the out-of-towners. You're like, you stand out like a sore thumb. And they love out-of-towners, especially ones that go to clubs and shit. That's real talk. That's real talk. You know what I'm saying? They literally will follow you and pay attention to what you're doing. What club you going to, what car you got out of, what club you going into, and what time you came out or whatever. And there'll be people right there waiting to get it in with you. Straight up, guns out, right by your car. You know what I'm saying? And let's just say you just get past that shit. You still gotta, if you're parked, like the way Atlanta's set up, you gotta pay for parking. So you gotta get over that. You know what I'm saying? Like if you're going to a club or some type of event, and to pay for parking seriously, it'd be just as much as you trying to get into the club. So if the club costs $30, it's gonna cost $30 for parking. No lie. That's real talk. And then if you refuse to pay for parking and you just don't want to pay for it, you gotta park several blocks down the street. And 9 times out of 10, you parking several blocks down the street. Don't nobody see. Nobody's out and around in that area. You know what I'm saying? The street lights is out or some shit like that. It's dark or whatever. That's an easy Vic. You know what I'm saying? It's easy for you to get set up, robbed. You know, your car get jacked. You know, if your car is still there, you know, they done busted your fucking windows and took your belongings and all the rest of that shit. It's just not a safe. To me, Atlanta's just not safe. It's just not. You know what I'm saying? It's just all a facade to me, in my opinion. Atlanta, period. You know, and what I mean by that is just across the board. You know, I hear, you know, that these titles that people, you know, will put on Atlanta, you know, saying that Atlanta is the Black Mecca, you know, Black Hollywood and all the rest of that shit. Nah, no, it's not. No, it's not. No, it's not. Black people down there, man, they don't give a fuck about one another. There's so much classism down there till it don't make no sense. It's all about money. That's what it's about. That's what it's about. So whenever you hear, you know, black people talk about Atlanta and they say, oh yeah, man, you come down here, black people look out for one another, it's a lie. It's all cap. Straight up, I live down there. I have literally lived down there and have, you know what I'm saying, you know, been around people that was just some fucked up people. Was some fucked up people, man. And I'm glad that I got out when I had the opportunity to get out. Straight up. There's so much shit that's going on down there till it's ridiculous. You know, and, you know, people oftentimes ask me, hey, man, when you coming back down to Atlanta to visit, never worry. Straight up. Straight up. That's real talk. You ain't got to never worry about me going back to Atlanta, even to visit. I hear people and they say, yo, I'm going down to Atlanta for the weekend or whatever. You know, I mean, to each his own. I'm just trying to understand what are you actually going to do, because it ain't really too much to do with the exception of hookah lounges and strip clubs. And those places get shot up too. It's just Atlanta, it's just an overall hostile environment. I remember going out and, you know, I would be in clubs or hookah lounges and shit like that, and or just regular bars, and it's just the vibe that I got. It was just like, it was strange, and I was like, you know what, man, let me take my ass home. It's not even worth me being out here. Straight up, like I don't understand how people still live there, but it's all hype. It's all hype, man. You know what I'm saying? Black people, you know, word of mouth, you know, the entertainment, you know, world, you know, specifically the music industry has hyped up Atlanta to be what it's not. To be what it's not. Yeah, true indeed, there's a lot of black people that's down there. Quite a few black people that have small, I ain't gonna say small, black-owned businesses. You know, Atlanta is one of the most successful places where black people they thrive and they make a lot of money, you know, but I mean, overall, it's still the same thing. It's still the same percentages. You know what I'm saying? Caucasians or Europeans, non-blacks, literally, you know, running on the city. And that this whole thing of, you know, Atlanta being black and this and that, so forth. Yeah, we black people may be the face of Atlanta, but that we don't own it or run it. That's real talk. And I'm just tired of the facade, you know, and I know people are going to say, man, you continue to make these Atlanta videos. And my reply to that is, yes, I'm going to continue to make them. Because it's just like, you know, I have to warn people to stay where you're at and try to make do with, you know, whatever you're trying to do in life, try to make do with what you have. You know what I'm saying? Because you moving down to Atlanta Especially if you moving in with a cousin, a distant cousin, or a friend. You gonna sleep on your friend's couch, or you know, you don't have a job right about now. You know, you got about $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 saved, and you think you gonna make it with that, man. I'm telling you, you're gonna fail. And I'm not trying to like dead or kill your dreams, because I know, like, with me, I don't like dream killers, and I'm not one of them. I'm just a person that gives you reality, that the chances of you succeeding without a concrete, stable job or some type of career, you know what I'm saying, where it's stable and you making a substantial amount of money, if it's not that and you just going down there just in hopes of being, you know, the future rapper, a famous rapper, a famous singer, dancer, or you know, this big content creator like Kai Cenat and shit. I think that's his name. You know what I'm saying? The chances of you being that is slim to none. And I wouldn't be a friend to you all if I didn't tell it to you like this. You know what I'm saying? That you fuck around and go down to Atlanta, you might end up like living under a fucking bridge, like a lot of the homeless people do. Like, if you don't believe what I'm saying, take a trip down to Atlanta, right? And talk to a few homeless people and see that the same type of vision and dreams that you had and aspirations that you have of Atlanta, that they didn't have the same. And look where they at. Real shit. Damn bugs. Real talk, man. You know, but I'm seriously, I'll go as far as to say I wouldn't hang out in Atlanta. I wouldn't go to no clubs in Atlanta. I wouldn't visit no one in Atlanta. Like, if, like, say for example, my children get older, and they move out and they create a family of their own, and they wind up moving to Atlanta. Nah, I'm not coming to visit. Not me. You know, you can't listen. Fool me once, fool me twice. And what I mean by that is, you know, I moved to Atlanta, and I thought that, everything that people said positive about Atlanta, I thought that was the truth. And when I got down there, I saw the exact opposite. I saw a lot of negativity. I saw a lot of disunity. I saw a lot of division in the black community. I saw a lot of homelessness. I saw a lot of people that were fake. You know what I'm saying? Your weekend luxury drivers, rental luxury drivers. You know, you fake it till you make it type people. And it's just crazy to me, man. I just couldn't believe it, you know. And then, you know, of course, Atlanta has this whole underground lifestyle, you know, and you know what I'm gonna say, you know, your DL man, your orgy parties and all types of pervertiveness and down there, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't get it twisted. Atlanta is the East Coast gay capital of the world, of this nation. I'll say at least of the United States. So a lot of shit goes on, man, that you don't want to get yourself into. You don't want to get yourself wrapped up into. You know what I'm saying? People get set up. You know what I'm saying? Motherfuckers get turned out and all the rest of that shit. I wasn't one of them. I was smart. I saw things before things happened. You know, I didn't hang around certain people. I felt their vibe. I knew what they were about, and you know, my spidey sense lit up, and I was like, nah, I ain't fucking with y'all. Certain parties that I was supposed to go to, you know, certain people that I was supposed to hang out with, you know, they weren't right. So it was like, you know, it wasn't right. The parties, it didn't sound right. So yeah, man. I mean, you know, you're gonna be your own man or woman. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna do what you want to do, especially if you're young. You know, you in the clubbing, you want to have fun and this and that and so forth. All right, go down there. I can't stop you. The only thing that I could do is forewarn you. That plain and simple. I'm telling you, listen, I have several firearms. I have the right to, you know, conceal and carry. So if I were to go down there, you know, and you know, I practice, you know, I'm not gonna say I'm great at drawing my gun out and, you know, and being on point with my firearms like all times. Like I'm not a professional marksman and no shit like that. I know how to handle myself, you know, but I wouldn't put myself in that position, in that predicament, in that situation where somewhere, and I just think personally that it can go down anywhere. Like there have been shootings in downtown Atlanta. If you don't believe me, check it out. People have gotten shot and killed in places where you like, huh? And then, you know, the crazy thing about it is when you talk to these Atlanteans, they'll say, well, you know, man, shit, crime is everywhere. It's not like this don't happen in other cities. But this is supposed to be the Black Mecca. This is supposed to be a safe haven for Black people. You know what I'm saying? So the point I'm making is that I understand that this type of violence happens, you know what I'm saying? Gun crime happens, gun violence happens, and all the rest of that shit. You know what I'm saying? Car break-ins, carjackings, and all the rest of that. But see, this is the thing. In other cities, they're not like promoting this whole, you know, Black city and Black people be all right type shit. Only Atlanta's doing that. And that's real shit. Only the people in Atlanta are saying, man, you come down here, man, you'll be good. Other than that, you come to Charlotte, it's what you see is what you get. See, the thing of it is here in Charlotte, I don't even feel safe. So the same way that I would carry my weapon or my firearm in a city that I'm not from is the same way I carry it here. Straight up, I stay on point wherever I go. Because, you know, it's the truth. Overall, it's the truth. No matter where you go, nowadays it's dangerous. People are desperate. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's, not everybody, but a large amount of people are struggling. And it's like, it's, you know, it's I'm going to get it however I get it, even if I got to take it. That's a lot of people's mentality. I'm not going to starve. And when people have those type of mentalities and they want to take some shit from a person and it may just be me, it's going to be, you're going to have a hard time doing it. Because I'm definitely going to protect and defend myself. Straight up. You remember like, yo man, I pay attention to a lot of shit. Like, you know, it's different cities and states that I've been to. And you remember like on the cop cars, on the squad cars, it used to say on the side, you know what I'm saying? It'll be like a logo or emblem or some shit like that. And then on the bottom, it'll say on just about every cop car, you know what I'm saying, protect and serve. Well, it's crazy. I don't see that anymore. So I'm only assuming that it's not a cop's job, a police officer's job to protect and serve anymore, to protect and serve you anymore, or me. So it's up to us to protect and serve ourselves. And that's real. You know what I'm saying? And that's the reason why I don't go to places where, you know, I know shit be popping off at. Matter of fact, I'm gonna keep it 100. I'm gonna keep it 100 with you. I don't go to any type of gathering where there's a large amount of people. I just don't. I really stopped going to festivals and the cookouts and the this and the that. It's just, man, you can get shot, you can get killed in broad daylight. Like when them wolves are out, it don't matter where the fuck you at. Straight up. Real shit. I mean, when you look at what's his name? Julio Fulio. Look what they did to him. Look what they did to him. I mean, that shit was like out of a movie. They had real live footage, HD footage of this man getting shot up in a car while spinning off, you know what I'm saying, trying to get away. I'm not trying to be like that, man. You know what I'm saying? I'll stay at home and whatever I want to do as far as entertainment, I'll entertain myself here. You know, like nowadays, man, it's just best to be an introvert. I never thought that I never thought that I would ever say that back in the days, man, because I always wanted to go out and club and just be out there, you know what I'm saying, and have a social life. You know, I wanted to be known as the person that was, you know, that hit all of the parties and you know, just the one that had a good time. But nowadays you can't do that, man. You can't do that, man. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You wind up 6 feet under fucking with these people, man. Because nowadays, you know, it's crazy. Like years ago in the 90s, you know, we used to talk about, you know, we used to have this, I got to get out of here, man. It's fucking bugs. We used to, I'm about to end it anyway. We used to have these, you know, the conscious community. We used to have these organizations like the Moore Science Temple. I mean, they still around, but they were prominent in the 90s. You know, the Moore Science Temple, you know, the Nubians, the 5% Nation, or rather the Nation of Gods and Goddesses, or Gods and Earth, excuse me. Who am I missing? The Nation of Islam, etc. Right? The Hebrew Israelites, you know what I'm saying? And a lot of those organizations or groups, you know, they were all about uplifting black people. You know, we would talk about how, you know, the black man was the original man, and you know how, you know, Egypt, you know, in Egypt we built the pyramids and blah 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 blah. We used to go on how hot the Moors were, and you know, Mansa Musa, and you know, Sudan having pyramids, and Nubia having pyramids, and Timbuktu, and all of that. You know what I mean? And it's crazy because, yeah, true indeed, we were great at one point in time, but nowadays what you're seeing is something different. You're not seeing pharaohs, you're not seeing gods and goddesses, you're not seeing Moors, you're not seeing none of that. You know, this generation, or generations of blacks, are way more different from your people that, if you want to say, you know, your black people that built the pyramids, you know what I'm saying, or black people that were, you know, in Nubia, you know, the generation of black people now are nothing more than genetically modified niggas. It's just that plain and simple. And the vast majority of us don't want shit. Straight up. We just don't want anything. And that's the reason why we don't have anything. And that's a reality. I'm not saying all of us are that way, but I'm saying a vast majority are that way. And if we're not that way, you know what I'm saying? We're just so naive into believing that a president or a politician or a god that doesn't look like us can solve our problems. So, do I think that things are ever going to change? No. No. Not at the state that we're in. You know what I'm saying? And this whole thing of Atlanta being a black city and black Mecca and black Hollywood and all the rest of that shit, it's just all hype. You know what I'm saying? And that's just what it is. Things are never going to change unless we change, and that's never going to change. So, bugs are getting the best of me. I'm out. Peace.